Okay then, so now we successfully created the project structure. So next what we need to do, let's go to the browser and search for github.com. Search for GitHub and you will be navigated to this link. So click the very first link and that will take you to the GitHub profile. So in case if you don't have any GitHub profile, so feel free to click the sign up button at the top right corner and create an account for yourself. All right, so now here we are. Let me go to my profile. So this is my profile over here. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new repository over here so that we're going to push all the codes whatever we are creating directly into the GitHub. So let's go ahead and create a new repository, and let's give a name for that repository as Fullstack underscore food underscore app underscore like what's so Feb month 23. Okay, so give a reasonable name that you can understand what exactly the repository is giving. And this is a React.js project, so React.js. Okay, so full stack web food app February 23 React.js. If you wish to give any description, you can add the description. If you wish to keep it private, choose the private, but it will not visible for anyone. In this case, I'm going to keep this as a public. And if you want to add a readme file directly, you can add it. In this case, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to create a repository. So now we have our repository over here. So now let's get back to the Visual Studio Code. To integrate the GitHub with your Visual Studio Code, you need to download one more software called Git. You need to download the Git download. So go to the first link. So click the download option. And there you can find the download for Windows and download for Mac. So please click download and open the software. Click next, and then install it. You don't have to change anything in that Git bash. All you have to do is to go and then click download, and you have to do all the necessary steps like next, and then install it. That's all you need to do. So once you successfully installed it, you can find, so let me bring this over here. Let me open. Once you downloaded that, all you have to do is to open your git bash. That means basically it's a terminal. Let me search for git bash. So you can find that git bash in your machine. Okay, so please go ahead and open that git bash. So in my case, I'm just going to use my terminal itself, or open your command prompt. You can directly use it through your command prompt itself. So here git hyphen version, so that will gives you the git version number. If it is returning the version number of your git, then that means your git is perfectly installed and it's ready for the usage. So still we need to configure one more thing. You need to configure your username and the email in a globally, so that you can access your git directly inside the Visual Studio Code. So to access the git directly, all you have to do is to search for git config username and email. Search for git config username and email. You can find this command, git config global username, git config global user dot email. So copy this command and then paste it in the command prompt. Change this name, give your GitHub account name. Okay, then press enter. So that will configure the globally your username. Then you have to change the exact same thing over here just by changing this to email. Then type your email inside this double quotes. Use your GitHub email. Then press enter. So that will configure your username and your email. So let me open the text so that I can share you this. So let me open a new text document over here. So the first command is going to be, let me make it a little bit bigger, not this much. Okay, so here this is the git config global username. Type your username, then exactly the same, instead of user.name, and type your email. This is the command that you need to type and execute after successfully installing your Git. Once you're done, just close your Visual Studio Code and reopen it again. In my case, already all these things is configured, so I don't need to do anything else. Let me minimize this and keep it there. And now what I need to do, all I have to do is to get back the Visual Studio Code, and over here you can see this option source control. So click the source control and it will ask you to initialize a local repository which keep tracks your GitHub file and your local file, so that it will monitor every updates. So initialize your repository. So once it's initialized, it's your repository, it will shows all the readme file which I created, right? All the readme file which I created. So if it is showing you, that means all these files are like not committed and it's ready to be pushed inside your GitHub. So if it is not showing anything, then that means those files are not detected properly. So better restart your Visual Studio Code. All right, since it's showing over here, the next thing what we're going to do, all we are going to do is to do the update the readme file, then connect our remote which we created over here. We need to connect this remote, then we're going to push these files directly to the GitHub. Okay, so next what we're going to do, we're going to create and update this readme file which I'm created.